So, anyway, idle chit chat. So we are heading, I think, southwest around a sort of a big bend in the Shropshire Union Canal as it goes from Stoak down towards the zoo, towards Chester Zoo, and it passes within, I think, 500 yards of the zoo, which is why I could hear the animal noises. The lions, Asiatic lions, as I found out when I visited, and that's why I could hear them. So that was all very exciting, wondering what the great beast of the canal was that was doing all the roaring at night. You would think I'd be more concerned, really, wouldn't you, on the night, you know, because it's a very distinctive sound. It's not a sound that you ever normally hear on an English canal. I should have really suspected I was, you know, it was like some kind of horror film plot going to unfold, but maybe I was too knackered. It's hard life on board. It's hard life. It's not really, you know, it's a doddle. You just stand there pushing this tiller and talking nonsense, really. So, do you know what I've done? I've forgotten the bloody bird food again, because I know I'm going to pass loads of these lovely little moorhens that could probably do with some scoff, and I've left the side down. Sorry, folks. I'm approaching the bridge hole. I think this is where the big long line of boats is moored up. So I'm approaching the bridge hole now, so I've got to be a little bit careful, just line myself up, because we don't want any last minute dramas and changes of direction going through. And with a bit of luck, we might be through the worst of the weeds as well. There's a workboat ahead of us on the right, so I haven't got a massive amount of room. This is quite wide. It's not too bad. So there's a workboat. They must be cutting weeds or shrubbery, shrubbage. It's not shrubbage, is it? Foliage. Shrubbage. I'm literally making words up. I've got no excuse. Well, I've had a couple of slightly restless nights in that Stoak spot. Didn't sleep fantastically well. For some reason, like waking up at 5 a.m. and 4 a.m. for no really, you know, obvious good reason. So yeah, that's one of the reasons I think I'm moving today as well. I'm hoping, I don't know, some spots, it's weird, some spots you just don't seem to get quite as good a rest. This place is chock-a-block with horseflies, and you know how I feel about them. So, again, forgive me if I suddenly turned into a gibbering wreck. Honestly, these are the sneakiest. Hello. Dog gave me a hello there. Dog gave me a fright then. Hello. That was a nice friendly dog, not one of those nutter ones. Sometimes you get dogs and they get really like intimidating, you know, they race down to the shore and they'll look for all the world as if they, you know, they would tear your limb off if they could get at you, you know, whereas he was just sort of a friendly bark really, and he went off with his tail wagging. So, you know, I'm all for that kind of dog. To be honest, I'm all for the guardy type dogs as well. You know, they are what they're sort of raised to be, aren't they? It's kind of calm playing dogs. Oh, look at these little guys, look. I don't know whether you saw those little moorhen chicks. Right, I need to slow down because this big long line of boats that I've been on about is upon us, or I'm upon them. So down to tick over, or nearly, just 1,000 RPM, and this should bring me down to about 2 miles an hour, to a sort of acceptable speed, because I don't want to get shouted at. Some boats don't give a monkey's, to be honest. Some boats just fly up and down past. If you're stopped on the side, or these boats stopped on the side, they just fly past at their full speed. Or another trick they do is they'll come right up to you at full speed, and about 20 yards away they'll cut the revs and go into neutral. So at the point they go past, they appear to, just cruising along, but they're almost doing, because you don't lose any speed in 20 yards really. So they fly past at full speed, and then hang on, yeah, so it's just going past those boats. Sorry about, I think there was a camera problem, i.e. me pressing the wrong thing. So I'm not one of those naughty boaters who go past at high speed. I think I'm doing about 2.5, maybe 2 miles an hour, which is great. Because, what's the rush? I need to get some kind of hat. I've got a selection of hats. I've got the cowboy hat that boaters commonly wear. The older boaters, they love a cowboy hat. I'm just not a fan really. I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm trying too hard, you know what I mean, with the cowboy hat. Like, it feels that it's verging on cosplay, putting a cowboy hat on. But they are practical, so if you're a cowboy hat lover, fill your boots. I'm not knocking it. It's just not for me personally. So yeah, little look at some of the boats. Here we go. So these guys, this is their home. Most of them will be full-time liveaboards. A few will be paying for these moorings, but they'll have a house somewhere, a few of them. But many of them will be full-time liveaboards. You've got to be a little bit careful when you're talking to yourself on a boat. I think people get the wrong idea. Maybe it's the right idea, but an idea I don't want them to get. So I think I know this sounds a bit crazy, but we're not that far. Yeah, we're not that far. I said it was only a mile or so, didn't I? Not that far from our destination here. We've got another, is it half a mile, I think? And I can start looking for somewhere to stop. It's a bit tricky finding places with no foliage or shrubbage in the summer, because the foliage goes crazy. It just grows at a massive rate, and it's just, you can't. So I need somewhere where it's low, so I can reach down with the paintbrush, and preferably so no creepy crawlies can crawl up my trouser leg, you know what I mean? Because nobody needs that. So, heavily overgrown with reeds on the left hand side. I'm going to cut the crop actually. So I've drifted over a little bit too far into them, and I need to put some revs on to get some control. I've gone so slowly there that the boat wasn't really steering, and it sort of drifted off to the left a bit and into the reeds. So you put some revs on, it picks up speed and it becomes steerable. more easily steer. It'll steer a bit, but much better when it's got some forward motion. Now here's a lady coming out of the boat, so hopefully she will recognise my kingliness in not going too fast as I pass. Nice day for it. Maybe a bit too much though. I'm not that much of a fan. I know it's heresy to say that, but some days it's too much, you know. Yeah. When you gotta move, you gotta move. But have a nice afternoon, guys. Anyway, take care. This would have been a great day for the cowboy hat, because do you know, I mean, I don't like the cowboy hat. I'm not a fan of just the whole genre, you know, the whole thing. I don't want to start knocking cowboy hat wearers, because lots of boaters wear them, and it would only be boaters who'd ever bother watching this, so I'll be getting all sorts of nasty comments. But anyway, on a day like today, it will keep the sun off the back of your neck as well, which you can get burned when it's so high and it's so hot. So it would have made some sort of sense. I've even got a baseball cap and I can't find it, because I've buried it under bloody tools and other gubbins while I've been doing these jobs on the boat. So I can't even find the bloody... I've got some kind of extra triple XL size head. I can never find a hat that fits, but I found one that nearly fits. And lost it. Yeah, brilliant. I don't know what's going on with me with the big head. When you look at me, if you were to look at me sort of head to toe, you wouldn't say, isn't his head big? You know, isn't his head big? It wouldn't, but it just is. It's huge. And I'm only, I think, 5'8" or something. I'm just a small bloke. What am I doing with such a big head? Something went wrong there, but it means I can't find hats, you know. Normal hats won't go near me. So limited choice, you know. Just, this is what happens, you know. These are the sacrifices I make. People don't know. This is how I suffer from headism, giant headism. And nobody knows, you know. This is the first time I've openly discussed my giant headism. There's a wasp hovering about now. He's buggered off. I'm not a fan of wasps, right? But at least they're honest about being vicious little bastards. Do you know what I mean? Whereas horseflies are sneaky. Wasps are like, don't mess with me. Don't even think about messing with me, or I'm going to sting you to death and back. Not, you know. Wasps, you just know that they're even the colour yellow and black. You're not messing with something that's yellow and black. Just, it's, you know, at least they're honest. They're open and honest, and just. Horseflies are just, they just lurk, and they lurk and they wait until you're not looking. I swear to God, they wait and then they sort of land. This is why, this is why I dislike them more than wasps even, and I'm no fan of wasps. You've got to respect your wasp, haven't you? You know. They're a creature that's known for kind of being angry and making buzzy, angry noises. That's their whole thing. That's their whole shtick, isn't it? And you steer clear. As soon as you hear that noise, you're okay. You know, let's back off. But you don't hear it with horseflies. They're almost soundless, and you can barely feel them land. Am I giving the impression I don't like horseflies that much? Still can't figure out why we just don't wipe them all out, you know.